Everyone enjoys getting out on the town for some live music. And there's nothing like going backstage and down the hall for a VIP pass to the inside information and interviews with the bands, singers, and songwriters that you enjoy. Welcome to Reading Stage Hall Pass, a showcase of homegrown talent, mixing independent music with personal interviews and a behind-the-scenes look at our music community. Backstage Hall Pass is your front row center seat to some great conversation with the area's most talented artists. Whether you like rock, blues, folk, country, or R&B, Backstage Hall Pass delivers you a daily dose of the stories behind the music. And now, here's the host of our show, Scott Hall.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Backstage Hall Pass. It's Wednesday with the band time. We had a little technical difficulty there. We are with you now. And without any further, I'm going to bring the boys in from some wonderful guys in here from Kick Engine today that are going to join me on the program. How you guys doing out there? You all right? Well, hold on. Let me turn your mic on. That'll help. How you doing, fellas?
Hey, Scott. Can you hear us now?
There we are. It's good to have us. And I can hear you now. Can you hear me now? You hear me? I got you.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about your band today. There's fun stuff happening here. We've been working on the technical side of this. Sometimes the Book of Face doesn't always agree with us, and we got them on now. We've got a nice shot of most of them that are going to be on the show. And let me start out with some introductions, guys. I'm going to come into a shot of you guys, and please start with Cisco over there and say hi to everybody. All right.
Hey man, I'm Cisco. I'm the drummer. That's it.
All right.
I'm Harlen Lee, guitar player.
I'm Derek Davidson, lead vocal and bass and keys.
All right.
Cal Coolman, keys and bass.
Wow. You guys do it all, don't you? Keys, bass. You guys are multitasking out there. So tell me, who wants to take it first? Tell me about Kick Engine and this great band that I haven't seen yet, but I want to get out and see.
Let's go with Eric.
All right, well, Kick Engine started out as basically my solo band about 5 years ago when I was thinking about going solo and retired instead, or semi-retired. And when I decided to come out of retirement, I got these guys together and we were going to be another band. And when that wasn't possible, we decided that we would use the Kick Engine name. Now the idea is that it's everything all at once, all the time. It's like a kitchen soup kind of, or a kitchen sink kind of thing, where it's elements of rock, funk, R&B, blues. It's elements of everything you could possibly think of, all in one sound. I mean, when I first started talking to people about the concept, people thought that I was trying to create a genre. No, I'm just creating a sound.
Well, and I've heard you guys described, and people have described it to me as hard rock, funk, pop, like all together. Is that a good description?
Yeah.
That is the official descriptor, yes, and it's more than that, but
That's the concise.
that's the concise, yes. I mean that's
off the top.
if you're gonna
Just
boil it
understand
down to brass tacks, that's what it is.
I would like to say it's like take funk grooves, put a hard rock edge on top of it, and then have pop hooks. Would be the best way to describe it.
What he said.
Now, are you doing all original stuff, fellas?
Yes.
Everything.
Well,
if I come to see your show, I'm going to hear no covers. I'm going to hear everything that Kick Engine did, right?
Well, now let's not get carried away. You know, we do like paying homage to our predecessors
and our influences.
and our influences and such, but for the most part, yes, a Kick Engine show will be all original.
And we're going to get to that too, because I want to dig in, because I've been looking at your bios. All you guys have a great history. And Derek, I know you were with Bootsy for a while.
For a short time, yeah, in the early 2000s.
Let's talk about
with Bootsy. But I'm not gonna talk about that. But yeah.
Well, let's talk about your history, guys, a little bit. Let me talk to Cisco over here because I know you were nominated for an award and all kinds of things. So let's talk about you, Cisco, for just a minute, and then we'll move down the line.
Okay.
What have you done?
Hit me with them.
Well, what have you done? I mean, where you been? What have you done? Give me some of your background.
Jesus Christ, how much time you got? Oh man.
All in a 1 minute soundbite.
Yeah, from my roots, I was lucky enough to play for. I started out playing for a church, you know, classic black news story. Started out playing for a church, and the minister of music was the 4-time Grammy Award winning Charles Fold. So he kind of developed me in my craft, and I ended up playing for them for years. And then that broke apart. We did not have a good end, but we made peace, and nice with that. I played with I went out to LA with the band Vegas of Space. I played with Dennis Hamlin. He won an Emmy. Creighton Emmerich, he plays with Orgy. He goes on tour with them often. I played with Lil Miss Nasty. That is a Angina and the Eastern Bloc. It's a band and a burlesque troupe. She's the Gina, Mama Bear, is the head of both of those. And I came by these guys being in the scene with Elementary Liberty Project. After that, like I ran into Derek, I ran into Cal. I didn't really run into you, Derek, too much. I don't think during that era. But Derek remembered me. He gave me a call. And that's it. Now I'm here.
And that's how it all came together. All right, Harlen, how about you, man? You were you were originally a drummer. Now you're the lead guitarist in this band. So give me a little background on you.
Yeah, I started playing drums in high school and did all that, but then I picked up the guitar, I don't know, when I was 16, 17 or something like that, just started dabbling in that. And the first tour I went on, it was 2 bands on the same tour, and we toured around the Midwest, and I was the drummer and the guitar in one band, the guitar player in the other one. So I never got a break. I'd play the whole night where everybody else just got to hang out and party. From there, I played in various other local and regional bands, and then I've done some recording from country to alternative to R&B. Some of the R&B tracks are actually played on the radio across the country. Played briefly in a band with Mike Skimmerhorn from the CJSS Chastain fame called Avarice at one time, and then the last local band I was in was Then and Now. We were a cover band. We played hard rock, Hard Edge. I think you saw us play once at a benefit. But that band died during the COVID. I've known Derek for a while now. We've always
7 years.
Yeah, and we always talked about putting something together. And then he finally said, "Hey, let's do it." And here we are.
All right. So as we move along here, and like I said, you guys have a lot of history. I want to mention to those people that are watching live right now, if you have a question for the band, throw it up there. We'll get it up in the comments as well. And even if you're watching after the fact after we post this thing to all the band's pages and our pages, please throw a comment in there too and let us know you're out there or ask them a question. We'd love to hear from you. All right, I'm going to move on down the line here. As we were talking to Harlen there for a minute, we're going to move down to Derek. Derek, tell me, I've had a chance to meet you at Bell and the Bear on the Open Jam night a couple times. So tell me a little bit about your history as well.
Well, I went to SCPA, graduated in 91. Yeah, we're old guys. You can't tell. And I started my first band actually in high school, my first professional band in 94 with a friend of mine named Mike Lindner. And we played all over the country for 7 years and broke up after 9/11. And then not because of 9/11, but we broke up after 9/11. Mostly because I was doing the funk band produced by Bootsy. And that was fun. We did a lot of big shows on that with that band, we opened for Journey, we opened for Peter Frampton. We had a lot of fun in that band. And then after that kind of fell apart, I've been basically playing in original bands since 2003. The Layers, who put out 2 albums in the mid 2000s, and then I regrouped Something Groovy in 2010, and we played till about 2017. We recorded a record, but we never. It's still officially unreleased. But we're going to try and do something about that at Unanimous Records. So.
Yeah, and you're one of the founding partners in Unanimous Records, right?
I am.
We'll get to that in a minute. I want to talk about the record label and all the things too as well. But let me shoot down one more time here, and let's talk there on the end to Cal if we can. Cal, how you doing today?
How's it going?
Going, man. It's going.
So I started learning piano at age 4 and started taking piano lessons. Classic white guy story. And played in some local,
it all comes back around.
stories merged right here, and played in some high school bands, and then started playing professionally in '99 with a group called Paralandra, which they wrote some really cool songs, and I got into that. It was like jazz rock originals.
I remember
really orchestrated.
I remember them. They were
weird
good
stuff. And then let's see, I did some punk on the basement kind of underground scene. Played a little at Sudsies and stuff like that with Hooligans Heroes. So that was a lot of fun. And
that's a great band name, by the way.
Yeah,
that's
it wasn't
good.
mine, but I liked it. But we moved on to a few different bands and trying some things out, and went to Shadowbox in Newport and was the house band keyboard player there, as well as a little bit of bass. And for 2 years, they shut their doors and moved up to Columbus, but I didn't want to move to Columbus, so I stuck around here. Met Lucky Spalding, got hooked up with him and his brother, and that band morphed into several different things, and that's where I met Cisco doing the reggae stuff. And
me.
And Derek was like in one of those bands we were kind of in and out members. Just there were like 20 different guys that came and went over like 5 or 6 years in that sort of group
that particular band.
Between me and Lucky, and he had his other stuff and I had my other stuff. But,
all right, so you guys have a long history. You obviously have all been professional musicians, playing places and all that. I just had a comment come up. Are you a local band? Obviously, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The area, and if so, where do you play? So let's tell them where they can see you guys play right now.
Okay. Well, right now, we are making our supergroup stage debut tomorrow night at the Bell and the Bear, and our first official gig we just confirmed this morning will be August 13th at Motor Pub.
There you go, people. August 13th, Motor Pub.
13th, Motor, yeah.
Now, if the folks that are watching out there today, if they want to follow you, they can find you on Facebook, and you'll post your events there, right?
Of course, correct.
All right, so follow Kick Engine. Follow Kick Engine on Facebook, people, if you will. Give them a like on their page. If you haven't yet, do that. Go over there and check that out. So I want to know also about, you're talking about hard rock, funk, pop, kind of all molded together here. Is this a high energy show all night long? Do you have any ballads, or is everything pretty much high energy?
Good Lord, do we have ballads? But it's mostly a high energy show. We have a handful of ballads. I mean, back in the 90s, that was kind of my claim to fame, was my ballads.
You're really good.
Kind of high energy ballads.
Yeah, I mean, like they're very dynamic, very dramatic ballads, you know. But I guess you can get high energy out of that, but yeah, most of the show is pretty high energy.
But with a lot of dynamics. When we do a full show, it'll be a lot of dynamics. What we're probably going to do at the Bell and the Bear, we're just going to go for it and bring the energy tomorrow night.
So you'll be at the jam night tomorrow night.
We're going to be at the jam night.
Cool. Of all jam nights, I've not missed one all year, and I have to miss tomorrow night. So I'm going to miss you play tomorrow night.
That's all right. Rob will be filming it, so
yeah,
It won't be the only time. So
that's all right. I'll be checking it out.
We're going to be up there watching Dave Moody's band.
Yeah, we're going to check out Dave Moody and his band Hairball as he's playing around the country. It's the only stop they're making in the area for a while, so we're going to check that out. And
badass, man.
That'll be good. That'll be good stuff. And you guys are taking some hits in the comments here. Certainly, Harlan. He says Pete Rose looks good for his age. Brett Brock's giving you a little. All right. Yeah.
Oh, Brett.
Wait.
I'm gonna be nice.
I gotta do it.
And then
Brett,
give me the camera, bro.
Brett's always gonna be shit about whatever. Well, pardon my English, but yeah. So.
Scotty Long also made the comment. He wanted to know if Cisco was the guy that did the thong song. So I mean, we're getting some comments today.
Bring them all.
I tried with the jokes. Y'all come with the jokes. Okay.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. All right. So you're going to make your debut appearance tomorrow night in front of a good crowd, always at the Bell and the Bear on a Thursday. That's a great night to get exposure, especially to the music community of Cincinnati, because that is always a who's who of musicians there. And if you can win the musicians over and they all like you, you're going to get talked about, and they're going to be posting videos and all those things. And that's what's cool about the Bell and the Bear. I think it's a great community of people who really love music and love each other. And that's what makes it fun for me. So what else? Let's talk about this record label for a minute. Unanimous Records. I want to hit on that a little bit. Tell me about that. Who wants to take that? Oh, hi. There's a new guy. All right.
Yeah.
My name is Justin Hall. I've been an audio engineer for about 20 years now. And it was always my idea to start a record label and a recording studio and a publishing company all kind of tied up together. And Derek and I have been involved with a reggae project for about 3 years now called Fire Key. And he plays bass and some keys in that. And he was talking about putting a label together. And I was like, well, I already got all the gear and figured out a lot of the paperwork side of it and all that. So we just kind of merged ideas. And we have another member who's not here at the moment, who I played in multiple bands with as well, who's also a multi-instrumentalist and vocalist. And so we're just kind of, three heads better than one. Now we're involving Rob here because he can handle the video side of it, which I'm strictly audio and electronics. I don't really care to deal with the video side, so it's a good thing he's around. And because it makes it a whole complete package. We can record, we can, we got guys upstairs in the studio that do like merch and stuff like that. So it's like kind of like a one-stop shop
all
for
in-house
music production.
All in-house.
I've recently invested some money into upgrading the entire recording system, and so we have some professional microphones and some really nice software, professional mixing board, and things of that nature to make it all go. And so we put out a Fire Key record back in 2018. We put out an MJ's record back in April, and we put out a Fire Key single last summer that had to do with the protests and things going on about the police abuse and all that sort of stuff. So we've been slowly trickling stuff out. We have some stuff that was supposed to come out in a couple of days, but I pushed it back to next week because there's a lot of paperwork involved, and we're trying to make sure we cross all our T's and dot all our I's before we put it out there, and may hopefully get another video out of the deal too. So I think the 29th is when we pushed we're going to release 3 singles on July 29th that are kind of like come out of our own kind of like audio junk drawer. Derek wrote a song that came to him in a dream. I had a song that I kind of wrote about some past experience, and Cord had a song from a long time ago, and so we all had you know, they aren't centered around any kind of band, but we all play all these instruments and stuff. So we just made these tunes, and so now we're going to put them out and hopefully get some videos. And we might have something that goes and plays in support of that, but we haven't figured out like a live aspect of that project yet. But
So
if
somebody wants to record with you guys, how do they contact you?
they can call me, or you can get with us on our Facebook. There's a Facebook for Unanimous Records. There's an Instagram for Unanimous Records. There's a TikTok, and I believe there's even a YouTube. We're still kind of gearing up on all the social media stuff, and there's definitely a Facebook and definitely an Instagram and a Twitter that are active currently right now.
All right.
But probably through Facebook would probably be the best way. They can message us on there, and then I could get with them on my phone number or whatnot, and we could determine a schedule for recording.
Perfect. Well, that's Unanimous Records, folks. If you're watching, and especially if you're watching afterwards here, please drop a comment for us and let us know what's happening in your world today. And looks like somebody just posted the Unanimous link today. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. We'll get that up on the screen right there for everybody to see. And good deal. Thank you, Court, for doing that. And so much to talk about, guys. If we could get our wonderful camera lady to swing the camera back around to the band guys here for a minute. I want to talk about musical influences. Now, you guys have deep roots in music, and I want to talk about your influences. I don't care who takes it. We're going to start with a couple of you and just find out what makes y'all tick and what got you doing this thing with live music and producing your own music.
I'll go first. All right.
Our studio's right across the street from the fire department.
Well,
running from the cops.
nobody got up. Nobody got up to run, so I think we're okay. All right, there we go. All right.
No, all right. Well,
Except for Rob, he ran out of here real quick.
All right.
all right. No, all right. I'll take that. My influence. I mean, I grew up listening to my parents' records. My dad was a rock and roll fan. My mom was a Motown, R&B, funk fan. And I grew up listening to all those records. Gap Band, Aretha Franklin, Three Dog Night, Frampton, which was cool that I got to open up for him years later. But and as I stumbled into music on my own, I discovered pop music and metal, and I had cats turn me on to alternative stuff, like the original alternative stuff like 7 Seconds and then Jericho, bands like that. Where songcraft was very high, and that made an impression on me. And when I started writing songs, I never thought I'd do it for a living. I was just going to do it and to make money to go to law school. But ended up being pretty good at it and ended up doing that instead. So yeah,
Cool.
So everything from Sam and Dave to Megadeth. I like all of it.
All right. So Harlan, besides Brett Brock, who are your musical influences?
Well, I grew up in my household listening to classical music all the time. My dad was a classical musical buff, so listened to a lot of, not the ones you normally think of. He really liked Shostakovich and Tchaikovsky. I kind of like the dark moodiness of Dvorak and things like that. So yeah, so I kind of always gravitated towards the heavy metal stuff because that's the dark, brooding, heavy, technical stuff. Back in the 80s, though, when I first started playing, I was in a big hair band, so I was all about that back then. So I have those elements in my playing from everybody in that genre, and then all the technical guys. I was a really big Yes fan, big Steve Howe fan.
Oh yeah.
Greg Howe. I like to say I like both Howe, Steve and Greg. Greg Howe's a phenomenal guitar player. If you don't know who he is, check him out. Grew up listening to George Lynch, Paul Gilbert, Yngwie, of course, and then Reb Beach is a fantastic guitar player, and John Petrucci from Dream Theater, big fan of his. And you could hear all that in my style of playing, it kind of all mashes together and comes out. You can hear elements of that, along with a lot of Jimi Hendrix. Because, I mean, what can you say about Jimi Hendrix?
Well, Harlan, I cannot get that visual out of my mind of you with big hair and spandex on in an 80s hairband.
There are pictures. We have evidence.
Yeah, there are pictures. I mean, you might be able to do a deep dive on my Facebook page. You might find some scary pictures like this.
Post the pictures, I think. So anybody else want to take a musical influence question before we move on here? Nope. Silence.
Well, I'll go.
Silence. All right.
It's a long story, man. So many influences from
Wow.
some people
That's
that,
a lot of love right there. A lot of love.
yeah, from some people that no one will know that I could name that are very big influences on me. But the big ones, I mean, all the big drummers, there's Dennis Chambers, there's Dave Weckl, there's Vinnie Colaiuta, Thomas Hake, from Clyde Stubblefield, Jabo Starks.
Jabo.
Across Gerald Robinson, very underrated. And people didn't know the guy that played the drums for the Jackson 5 back in the day was their cousin. They laid down a bunch of those rhythms. So I go back and I listen to all that stuff, and I just try to incorporate them into what I play today. I listen to the current cats. There's a bunch of current cats. I mean, if I was just to list names, it's like how much time you got, you know? But those are some of the foundations for me. Chester Thompson, that played for Phil Collins because he's an Aquarius like me, and he's also the drummer. But the drummer he had to play for them. He was a big influence. Neil Peart,
The master, the professor.
Mm-hmm.
Neil Peart. And the list goes on and on and on and on and on. You know, it never stops, and it never has stopped, and it never will stop.
Well, there you go. There you have it.
Yeah. I mean, like basically the foundations of this band are rooted in the classics. You know, I mean, like this band is a modern day all original tribute to the way it used to be done.
I'm there. I'm with you. So I can't wait to hear it. I mean, I'm telling you that it sounds to me like nothing that's going on in the whole area, and it's always good to have something that's a new type of I don't even want to call it, like you said, a genre or anything, just a new way of putting music together. So that's exciting to me. I like to hear that. Did I lose you, boys? I think we may have frozen up. Yeah, I think so. Let's see if we can get them back here. There they come. You're coming back in. Now we got you. You froze up for a minute, but you're back. So we've got just
blowing up my messenger.
Your phone. We've got just a couple minutes left, guys. So what else you want to tell everybody about Kick Engine? And let's end this thing with a bang. Let's tell them what you want to talk about.
Well, what we want to talk about is our upcoming single, which will be out in mid-August. It's called Sliding In. It is our opening salvo. And as far as we are concerned, the rest of the music community is on notice that something is coming.
You heard it here first, people. Mic drop, drumstick drop, whatever. So, yeah.
Come see us.
Is he there?
Do it. Come see us. You don't even know what's coming.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Rock and roll personified. That's us.
All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you for being with me today. We are about out of time. We're at our 30-minute mark on this. Went fast once we got the technical difficulties gone. So everybody, again, Kick Engine. You can find them on Facebook. Follow Kick Engine on Facebook. Hit that like button. Smash that like button. Tell your music-loving friends to hit that like button for sure for these guys. And you can follow where they're playing. Making a debut appearance tomorrow night for a few songs at Bell and the Bear, which is an awesome place. And the jam session starts at 7 o'clock tomorrow night or 7:30, something like that. So get out there for that one. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for having us on, talking about us,
Absolutely.
talking to us. And I want to thank you for everything you do for the musical community. Okay?
Thank you, Harlen.
You are helping.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate it.
Here, here.
Yeah,
Here, shut up, hey.
that's real.
Well, it is my view that music soothes the soul, man, and it's good for people. And, you know, hopefully we can keep this live music going. And had a tough time in the last year. A lot of people lost bands and didn't get a chance to play anymore. And it's coming back, man. I've been at some concerts this week. They've been packed. And from John Fogerty to the Beach Boys, I saw packed houses this past weekend at shows. So it was good stuff. And I look forward to seeing you guys play soon with Kick Engine.
Sir.
And appreciate you being here, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you
And
very much.
just to piggyback what you just said about people losing bands, we all lost bands during COVID, but we found this one. And the chemistry with us live is going to be phenomenal. That's all I got to say.
August 13th at Mutter. Come out and see the full show.
We lost
Motor Brewing, August 13th, guys. Check it out. Follow their page. You can find out times, dates, and all their events. So thank you, fellas. I appreciate you.
Thanks,
All
buddy.
right, thank you.
All right. Stay with me a minute, guys. I'll talk to you after the show here. Thanks for watching today, everybody. This has been Wednesday with the Band at All Around Town Radio. Please share it with your music-loving friends. Hit that share button. Smash the share button, too, and let people know. We'd love for them to watch and hear about this great band. We'll be back with you tomorrow, live at 5 with Who's Playing Out, featuring the best musicians in the tri-state area. Thanks for watching today. We'll catch you next time here at All Around Town Radio. Bye-bye, everybody.